Good evening and welcome to Awakening Wednesday. We're so grateful to have you here and sharing this time with us. For this is a blessed occasion. Awakening Wednesday is all about spirituality and diversity. Because we know no matter who you are, no matter where you are, God is. I am. I am. God is right here where we are. So I want you to get yourself comfortable and enjoy the presence and power as I open up with this beginning chant. God is, I am right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. God is, I am. Right here, right now. Right here, right now. God is, I am. Now I want you at home to join me so that you can start to feel the vibrational lift that takes place when you sing. That you can plug into this divine energy right now and feel the presence of spirit flowing through you. God is, I am. Right here, right now. Right here, right now, I am. God is. God is, God is. I am, I am. Right here, right here, right now. Right now, right here, in this very moment right here, right now, right here, God, I am. One more time, sing along with me. God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now, right here, I am. Ooh, yes. No worries, I just got choked. Oh, thank you so much. So, today, this Awakening Wednesday, I get the pleasure. Oh, can we get me some water, please? I get the pleasure of, oh, thank you. I got to do it, y'all. I got to get the water. Woo! Needed that water. Ah, the water of life. Let's give Linda L. some love. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. With that amazing flute. We're all 6 feet apart. I'm absolutely whole, perfect, and complete. Have no worries. Just got choked. So today I have the pleasure of being also not the musical guest, but the facilitator. And today I am talking about what is, being comfortable with what is. And the meditation today, we're actually going to do a little tapping. And I'll explain that to you when we get to that part. But we'll do a little tapping today for our meditation spot. So this next song, providing I can get this little frog out of my throat, it brings forth the divine essence in all things, and how we see and know God, how we experience it. It's a beautiful song that reminds me how God is everywhere, always around me, always supporting me, always holding me. Rolling river God, little stones are smooth, only once the water passes through. So I am a stone, I'm rough and I'm grainy still, trying to reconcile this river's chill. But when I close my eyes and feel you rushing by, I know that time brings change, and change takes time. And when the sunset comes, my prayer might be this one, that you might pick me up and notice that I am just a little smoother in your hands, sometimes raging wild, sometimes the world is high. Oh, never have I known this river dry. The deepest part of you, dear Lord, is where I wanna be. feel the rough is there, just wash away. But when I lose my eyes and feel you rushing by, I know that time brings change, and change takes time. And when the sunset comes, my prayer might be this one: then you might pick me up and notice that I am just a little smooth. You might pick me up and notice that I am just a little smoother in. Yeah. Ooh, I'm a stone and I'm smooth. I'm smoother. I'm just a little smoother in your hands. I love that song. Yes, just a little smoother. So let me step over here. Oh, let's give Linda some love. Thank you for that, Linda. That was so beautiful. And we got to give some love and a shout out to Lori. Lori's holding down the camera and the production. Yay! Thank you, Lori, for being here. Truly appreciate you. So, tapping. Tapping deals with our energy. I'm a huge fan of energy and vibration. And tapping is yet another tool, another way of connecting with your source. Another way, I should even take it further, it's another way of realigning, recalibrating yourself when you're out of whack. But that means you have to pay attention to how you're feeling. You want to know what you're feeling and how you're feeling. And so with tapping, it's 5 major places that you tap at. And you can tap, you can do a boost of happiness, you can do stress, you can do money, you can tap on anything. I mean, there's no end. But one of the things about tapping is that you do recognize some of the negative energy that's coming up. Because if you don't recognize it and become aware of it, you constantly fall back into it without you even knowing. You say things like, well, that's just who I am. And that's not who you are. You're so much more than that. So tapping is dealing literally at a cellular level, dealing with your energy and your vibration. The first one is the karate chop. You tap on the side of the hand. And it doesn't matter if you want to tap with your fingers or if you want to tap with your hand. Either hand. I usually go back and forth. So you tap there. The second one is the eyebrow. 2 fingers, tap right on the edge of the eyebrow. You tap right on the edge of the eyebrow. The second is the side of the eye. You tap in that little socket there in the side of the eye. Underneath, you tap underneath the eye. Now, have no fear. You won't have to worry about trying to remember these. I'll guide you as we go through. And then you tap underneath the nose. You take one hand, tap underneath the nose. You tap underneath the mouth. Then you tap on the collarbone right here. And then you tap underneath your arm, kind of like where a woman's bra is, right underneath, right, not the armpit, but just right in between that little sweet spot there. And then you tap on top of the head, right in the center head. You're hitting the dome up there. And so, believe it or not, with every tap, you are starting to release cortisol. You're starting to release endorphins that will take your body from this stressed place, from sometimes it's anger, sometimes it's sadness, whatever's happening in that moment. It will take your body to a level of getting back in alignment and in tune with the divine. And so we're going to do one on stress, because I think, hey, everybody's feeling a little stress here or there. If I say something that doesn't work for you, please feel free to put your own word there. And I'm going to ask you to respond. I'll say it, you repeat it, and I will tell you when to move from space to space. We will go from the negative into the absolute positive and joy of what all life is. So let us begin. Tapping on the karate chop. Tapping here on the karate chop, recognizing that today I may have been in a little stress. Today, maybe I watched a lot of news. Maybe I talked to someone that shared something with me that scared me. Still tapping on the side of the hand, the karate chop. But no matter what, I love and appreciate who I am and right where I am. Even though my mind sometimes right now is filled with so much anxiety and worry, I know that there's a presence that's bigger than me that's going on right now. Now tapping on the eyebrow, go to the eyebrow. Even with this feeling sometimes that I'm cooped up in the house, I want to get out. I know that there are other things that I can do, and I want to recognize all the blessings that I do have being in my home. And I know that there are other people that don't, but sometimes I forget to be thankful for the blessings that I do have. On the side of the eye, tapping on the side of the eye, recognizing that no matter what is going on, I know that God is here. That God is always here no matter what. Even when I'm upset, when I'm feeling that all is lost, I know that there is wellness happening. Tapping underneath the eye. Tapping underneath the eye, recognizing that I don't have to be afraid of what's going on right now. I don't have to be in fear. I know that everything always works out for me. And even when I forget, I know that I can be reminded. Tapping underneath the nose. It doesn't matter what other people say. It doesn't matter what I read in the newspaper. I have a choice to think the things that make me feel good. And it matters how I feel. How I feel is important. Tapping underneath the mouth. I take a breath and recognize that even when I get frustrated, I know that I love myself, and I have to remind myself that I do love me, and that loving myself is far more greater. Appreciating who I am, appreciating all that I have, is a far greater alignment than worry. Worry only gets more worry, tapping on the collarbone. Even though I worry and I doubt and I get frustrated and I look out and I think the world is going to pieces, I know that there is a greater source that's taking place, that all that there is this divine light and God. I know that that's all that there is. Tapping underneath the arm. So I can take a breath at any point of the day. I can unplug from the news. I can stop reading the newspaper. I can stop having that conversation with that person that says the world is coming to an end or that everything is going to hell. And I can stop having those conversations, even if it's with my husband or my daughter or my best friend. I can decide not to have those conversations. Tapping on top of the head. Tapping on top of the head and recognizing that this day, every day is a blessing. And this day too is a blessing. That the sun rose today and nobody had anything to do with that. So there is a greater presence that's going on right here and now. Tapping on the eyebrow. So I recognize that this presence that's going on is, whether I call it God, light, Buddha, divine one, there is a divine energy and vibration that's greater than any media source, than any news. It is the greatness that breathes. It is the greatness that breathes breath into my body, tapping on the side of the eye. I recognize that this divine presence loves and appreciates me, that I am the life here. I'm on point. I'm on purpose. I'm here on divine purpose. So everything is always working out for me. Tapping underneath the eye. I love and appreciate right where I am. Even if I get upset with myself, even if I get worried, I still love and appreciate myself right where I am. Tapping underneath the nose. Because I know that there's only one power and one presence and one thing going on. And even if I forget sometimes during the day, it's okay. Because I have other people and places around me that remind me that God is. I am. Tapping underneath the mouth. So I take a breath right now. And I know that God is all that there is. It is this breath that is breathing in and through me. Tapping on the collarbone. It is the breath that is pumping my heart. I don't have to do anything about it. It's just doing its thing. How great that is. Every cell in my body is just doing its job. Every cell and atom in my body is connected to source, and it is doing its divine duty. Tapping underneath the arm. And I appreciate myself. I appreciate my life. I appreciate the universe. I appreciate everything that's going on right now. Tapping on top of the head, taking a deep breath. Taking a deep breath right here. Still tapping and recognizing that God is right where I am. And that at any point in time, I can tap into the awareness that I am my Father one. You can stop tapping and just take a moment. We'll just take a few moments here. I normally do a full meditation, but we'll just take a few moments and just breathe into this presence. Just breathe into this awareness that God is right where I am and that all is well. Just in this short period of tapping, you've lowered the cortisol in your body. You've lowered the levels of stress. Your nervous system has relaxed. You've released the joy endorphins. You've loved yourself immensely. So take a breath. Cortisol, that would be the word I was trying to speak out. Take another deep breath. And now, as we welcome into this Awakening Wednesday, today I'm talking about being all right with what is. You know, in this teaching and the spiritual walk that a lot of us are doing, there are many wonderful people that know that no matter what this time is showing up as, that there is a greatness, there is a good that is bubbling up. There is a consciousness that's expanding. But the trick becomes, how do you hold that when you get the phone call that the world's coming to the end? How do you hold that when you yourself feel that you are estranged from everybody, that life is not what it used to be? How do you hold that when you're afraid? How do you hold that when maybe a family member or a friend is actually experiencing this virus? How do you hold that? And in holding it, do you think it's sufficient enough? The two questions. How do you hold it? And do you think holding a higher level of consciousness is efficient enough? That's a big question. As always, my life, this beautiful thing, the last couple of days, I've been on a great, fast, and furious roller coaster. It's been busy. And so I was like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, Gino, definitely, this is your talk. Because in the midst of what is whatever's happening in your daily life that you're faced with, that you're looking at moment to moment. How much of that do you let distract you? So I found myself really very, very distracted. Um, I shared with one of my friends called me, and normally I wouldn't have answered the phone, but I did. And I was really in a state of like, "Bleh." And she didn't know what to do. She's like, oh my God, I've never heard you here. I can always call you, and you know. I said, I do know, but I can't talk about it right now. So there was this silence. So she's like, I just want you to know I love you, but I'll call you later. And I was like, that's a good idea. What I did know enough in the midst of feeling just separated, feeling that I was in struggle, feeling that I was not sufficient, that my life that I had been living was just, what have you done with your life? The woe is me, the victim, the capital V baby was in control. It was doing it. But I heard this still small voice that said, go for a walk. And sometimes when you're in that, that's the last thing you want to do. You don't know, no, let me just sit in it. Let me just, because it's the truth, right? Let me just waddle in it. And I heard it, go for a walk. And I do know for me that nature just feels my spirit so much. So I did. I pushed myself to get out and go for a walk. And the first initial part of the walk, the mind was busy. I don't know why you out here. There's disease everywhere. There's a virus going on everywhere. And that's not anything that I believe. But I was in the woe is me. I was in victimhood. That's very low level energy. That's very low level consciousness. And I was like, beating myself up. You know better. How you get here? You know better. And all of these things on this beautiful journey of spirituality. I heard Abraham Hicks say one time, this is not like a college diploma. You don't get it and then that's it. You're constantly evolving because that's how life expands. Without evolution, without every day being different, there would be no more days. There would be no more you. There would be no more me. And so I'm on this walk, and I have grown enough to be able to start to separate this voice that wants to tell me my life isn't working, things aren't working, blah, blah, blah. So the first part of that, how do you deal with what is when you're in what is? You have to truly want to make a conscious choice to feel better. Not to change the situation, just to feel better. You gotta wanna make the choice that feeling better is more important than feeling right or wrong. It's more important than feeling like a victim. It's more important than letting your pride take the steps and guide you. In the midst of what is, if what is not making your heart open and know the truth of God, then you gotta take that opportunity to make a different choice in that moment. When the moment you can awaken to the point that I am in a creative process, I am literally creating. Don't forget that part. I am in this creative process that is going to bring the flowers I do not want. I don't want them. I'm going to tell you, I don't want them. And your mind will say, well, you've had them before. You've had them before. But the whole process to me of what we're birthing ourselves through, everybody's talking about the virus. But to me, the real deal is fear. It is the common denominator that's all over this globe, that we as an entire human race get to rise up from our fear. We have created wars over fear. We have disliked a person because of fear. We have hated people because of fear. We have hated ourselves because we were afraid to be who and what we are. Fear. So you can put anything there in the place of the virus. It could be lack. It could be health. It could be a relationship. We all have these things that we are afraid of. Now, don't get me wrong. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is a beautiful guide that is saying, hello, you are pointed, you are looking, you are focused on something that's out of alignment with your source. Fear is as much a part of this beautiful life as happiness is, as faith is. You can't have one without the other. So, back to me on this walk. I'm walking, and I start to see some flowers, and I'm like, oh, wow. Look at the color of this flower. I mean, it's like there's nobody out here hand painting these flowers. This flower came with everything that it needs to be this beautiful magnificence. Are you less than that, Gino? Whoa. What? I know this, but sometimes to live it in the moment when you are on your cliff, you live it from a space unlike ever before. Butterflies tend to always come around me at these moments and times. And of course, there were two beautiful butterflies, and I started to play and chase them. Then I saw a family out rollerblading together. I was like, oh, how cute that is. And before I knew it, I had shifted from what is to the beauty of God that was everywhere. That I'd shifted into a space of appreciation, appreciating the grass, appreciating that even in the midst of what's happening right now, I'm divinely supported. I don't have to know how, but I am. I don't have to know all the details. We get locked into the details. Like, you don't really know how your body functions. We have a broad idea, but you don't really know. But you trust it. And I said, Gino, you got to trust where you are. You got to trust that right where you are, you're in divine alignment. Abraham Hicks, who I love, says a lot of times that you are always in the perfect and divine space, no matter where you are. Right where you are is right where you're supposed to be. And sometimes, that's hard to swallow. What? Because the monkey mind says you're here in pain and in struggle and in lack. But you're here in growth, expanding to a new awareness, to a new insight, to a new feeling, vibration. Whoa, that is powerful. So I come across this park, and there's a young girl there with her little doggie. Oh my God, that little puppy was just as cute as can be. Just whatever was left that was doubtful, heart just opened wide up. The little dog ran to me and gave me so much love. And she said, oh my God, he doesn't do that. But he knew. He knew. So by the time I left them, I was like, you know what? Everything's all right. It's all good. You got lost in fear for a little while. You got lost in what is and was giving what is all of your attention, but not now. I bless you what is, but I know that God is right where I am. So I see a 7-Eleven, and I'm like, let me go to the 7-Eleven. And I decide I want some comfort food. So I get some Twizzlers, and I get a couple of energy drinks, and I want an ice cream bar. So I take my energy drinks and the Twizzlers, and I sit them on the counter when I go to get my ice cream bar. When I come back, the clerk has put my things into the bag with the lady that's in front of me. And I said, oh, baby, you're moving too quick. I said, those are my things. And the lady turns to me and says, oh, I've already paid for them. I said, what? I said, no, 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 no. She said, it's okay. I've already paid for them. She said, I put my PIN number in. It's okay. And I heard myself getting ready to say, no, no, no. And I was like, Gino, you don't get to say how God shows up for you. This is a divine, absolute reflection of you being in alignment and source speaking right out to you. I got you. So I looked at her, I said, thank you so much. She said, it is my pleasure. I didn't know this woman, never met her before, but she was a child of God. And I meet God everywhere I go. So I got my things, and when I walked out, numbers are very prevalent for me right now. When I walked out, a fire truck passed me, and it had 1111 on it. I said, oh my goodness, God, you just all over me. I feel you, you all over me. So I walked back to where I was staying, and I went up to the front desk to ask a question. And when I looked into the office, the third name down was Geneva, and that was my mother's name. And tears just started to flow because I knew again that source is all over me, all around me. And I say that to you, that the divine presence is all over you, all around you. But when you're focused on what you don't have, you can't see what you do. I, for a long time, thought that that meant, okay, if I'm focused on God, then that means situations got to change right here, right now. Lickety quick, lickety spit, bam. If that didn't happen, something gone wrong. But I want you to hear this and really take it in, because I've really come to understand it is not about the manifestation being a thing or a person or a big lump sum of money. All of that will come. What it is about is you shifting your vibrational energy in that moment to be able to fully appreciate all that is without having one thing outside that has changed. That requires practice. Yep, it does. It requires practice. It requires due diligence. But here's a little secret. The universe is going to constantly let you practice. Some days when you don't even want to practice, there it is. There's an opportunity to practice. Practice the knowingness, the awareness. What do I do with what is? Don't judge what is. It's just like when you're cooking. You're in the midst of something. When you're making a meal, you're in the mix of creating something. You are creating in your life. It's not done. It never is done. That's the beautiful thing. If one meal was a meal that sets you for life, how boring would that be? We have 3, 4 now. I know people eating 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day. A little nibble here, a little nibble there. Just remind yourself that you're in the mix of you're not complete. Your journey isn't done. It doesn't matter what your age. It doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter where you are right now. You are in the mix. You are in the flow, in the middle. And when you feel yourself sad, angry, frustrated, worried, that just means that you're focused on things that the divine presence is not. That you're focused on a life condition that you say is real. An experience is temporal. We make them real when we live them day in and day out. You know the old saying, you may go through the valley, just don't pitch a condo up there and start decorating it. This is my favorite thing right here, you know. Be mindful. This is a time to recognize that what is will push all of our buttons, because a lot of times we are in solitude. Things are different. You know, we talk about change. Everybody wants change, but nobody really want to change. So how's that going to work? So this isn't the final either. We're cooking. We're still in the mix of it. We're still preparing and learning. And look how great it is that we were so prepared for this all over the world. I was like, oh my goodness. There were people that were ahead of the curve that they may not have known why they were creating what they created, but they created it for this moment right now. The fact that technology is so advanced that we can Zoom and see one another. 10 years ago, it would not have had it. Not like it is now. That we can stream online and have a sense of real life time, in real time, to be lifted and shifted up, to laugh, to see our old friends. You can FaceTime somebody. Google, Hangouts. I mean, there's so many different ways that we can connect. Zoom. So we were prepared, whether you realize it or not, for this time now. There were people that were awake and listening to their divine intuitive essence. Don't shut your door off. Listen for yours right now. The entire universe, we are just in this baking pot of cooking what's to come next. I know sometimes we get so focused on what's happening right now. But the true beauty is to be awake to what's to come next. And to know that in this now moment, you are supported. I am supported. We are always supported. So that leaves me with the last question. Is it worth it? Is there value in feeling good? Is there value? Can you decide that the way you feel is so important that if you have to get off a phone call from somebody that you love dearly because they are upsetting your chi, that you decide, you know what, I love you, mama, but I got to go right now. Maybe it's your lover man or your lover girl. Babe, I love you, but I got to go right now. Could be your sister, could be your best friend, could be your next door neighbor. It could be your television. It could be your computer. That's a decision that I'm asking you to make now. Is it worth it? Is feeling good worth it? I know what it is for me. Because when I feel good, I see the good of God everywhere. I see life from a whole new vantage point. New ideas and things come through my mind and they pop up on me and I feel the energy flowing through me. It's important. I used to think that, if God don't hear and know that I'm praying for this money, he may not know where to send it. But as I journey, as I travel more and more, I recognize that the abundance is the vibration and energy that I'm carrying. That, people always ask for money. And I remember a beautiful Reverend Sheila McKeaton. She's still alive. Thank you very much. I love you, Reverend Sheila McKeaton. Spoke one time at Agape, my first encounter with her. And she said, she had a friend that said, "Ooh, Sheila, I want to get that $1,500 raise." And Sheila said, "Okay, give away $150." What? Give away $150? And she said, if you don't have the consciousness to give away 150, how can you let in 1,500? And I know you've heard this in time and time again, but there comes a point when you've just got to decide to make some different choices. And that is it worth it to feel good? Is it worthy enough? Is joy enough to bring everything you desire into your life, to create the divine magnificence that you are calling forth, be it with a special someone or a project that you're working on, or all of the abundance that you can have for the freedom to do whatever you want to do? Can joy do that? Can appreciation do that? That's what it kind of boils down to. That's where I'm at with it. Can it do it? Well, I know for sure, as my girl Oprah would say, this I know for sure, worry can't do it. Because I have worried for years. Worry has not done it. Worry has only created more things for me to worry about. Overcoming? I've overcome. Let me conquer. Overcome. Got to keep overcoming things. Struggle? I've struggled. Boy, got to keep struggling. So why not try? Why not try practicing? And it's a daily, moment by moment practice. Feeling joy for an hour is great, but to be able to consistently put your vibration, and it's not something you can do 24/7. You know, nobody does it 24/7. The Buddha didn't do it 24/7. But understanding that that is the goal, that the goal is to be uplifted in your own oneness with who you are, to appreciate every day, to find something to appreciate in every day. It's a beautiful thing. Because it's in those moments that you know that you're blessed. It's in those moments that you feel the blessing of the divine. It's in those moments that you connect to all that is. So what is? What is? Does what is have your attention? Because if what is has your attention, then chances are you're missing out on the blessings. Chances are you're paying attention to the world and not to your heart. Chances are you're focused on things that don't make you feel good at all. So take this opportunity right now. Put your hand over your heart. Breathe in with your hand over your heart. And I'm going to come over here and stand next to Linda. I want you to hold your hand over your heart. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And breathe in this moment. Breathe in this very moment the loving presence of this day. Maybe it's your cat that makes you smile, or maybe it's a newborn, or maybe it's a 6-year-old that's filled with so much excitement about life. Maybe it's the moon that shines through your window at night, or the stars that you see all around you. Maybe it's the smell and the fragrance of nature through a flower. Maybe it's a smile of a friend that just came by to check on you. Maybe it's a phone call from somebody that says, hey, I just want you to know I love you and I'm thinking about you. Maybe it's this and so much more. Just feel that joy in your spirit. Feel that in your heart. Maybe it's your community that has Zooms and every kind of connection you can think of to just let you know we're here and we're standing strong and we know the truth that God is. We know that the blessing of God is happening, even though we may not know how it's happening, but it is. So with all this loving joy and energy, feeling the divine right now in your spirit, for this is always with you. It only takes a few moments to remind yourself to remember how great you are, how great thou art, and that you are always blessed. As the old folks say, I've been blessed by the best. You are absolutely blessed. You are blessed always. Join with me. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surrounds us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Come on, one more time. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surrounds us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say, So I know you see the screen right now. There are so many ways that you can support the center, that you can support yourself in being grounded in the absolute truth of knowing that as you give, you're not giving to an institution, you're giving to the truth that all that there is God. You're giving to the divine universe that constantly gives you every day. You're giving to the breath of God that is within you. And I want to say thank you. I say thank you from the bottom of my heart for our divine community, for the new ones that are coming forward, for recognizing that it is in the grace of God, in the givingness that opens our heart even wider. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surrounds us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Oh, so wonderful. So we just have a few announcements that are going on here at the center. We're Zooming like crazy, like everybody else all over this world. Thank you, Zoom. Thank you, thank you. I also want to take this time to say thank you to all the people, first responders, all the people on the front line, the grocery stores and the medical buildings and the post office. Everywhere you go, people that are standing there holding down, everybody in the restaurants that are holding down the space for us as we walk through this divine journey. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your divine loving and givingness. So we have a couple of new classes coming up with Liz Myers. Check the classes on our webpage. Check them out. We have some wonderful things she's doing with eating. This is a great time to work with somebody on your eating because we love going, I'm just nervous eating. I don't have anything else to do. But there are things you can eat while you're doing that. So check on the webpage for that. Tony also has a wonderful new process for those that are practitioners, or I think, or wanting to be a practitioner. Check out about that class as well. We have our home groups that are doing Zoom. Awakening Wednesday will be happening next week. I think we're going to have a surprise for you next week. I'm working on something, so stick by for that. Go to universalspiritcenter.org and check out everything that we're doing. We have a nightly meditation that's really beautiful, that if you find yourself hanging out there in the victimhood, not knowing what the heck to do, 7:30, I think it's 7:30, 7 o'clock every night, the meditation is happening. All are welcome. Please come on in. It's a beautiful way to keep your spirit grounded and to know that all is well. So, in that, we're getting ready to say thank you so much for being here, because all good, all good. Everything is good all the time. Always. There's nothing but good. Remind yourself that good is happening all the time. Even if you don't see it, it's happening. It's happening. You know, the fact that our world is turning, it hasn't missed a step because of the virus. The rain didn't stop because of the virus, and the sun didn't stop either. So know that we are totally blessed in goodness. Goodness, goodness, goodness. Know that all is good all the time. Sing out with me if you want to. Get up and move around if you don't know the song. Just get some movement in your body. All good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, let me know all is good. Holy, holy, all love, all love, all love, holy, holy, all love, holy, holy, all in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, let me know all is love, holy, holy, all one, come on. All one, holy, holy. All one, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, let me know all is one, holy, holy. Peace and blessings.